Hey everybody and welcome back to Semi Stories. Today we got another interesting story from r/TrueOffMyChest where OP found out her husband has been cheating with her best friend. I'm honestly not sure where to start, so I guess I'll just start. My husband and I have been dating since I was 19 and he was 22. We've been married for 6 years though. We have 2 kids and I'm 6 months pregnant with our third. 2 years ago I found out my dad had stage 3 colon cancer. My dad is my only parent as my mom passed away when I was 12. He's my favorite human and life without him doesn't seem as colorful. His laugh is extremely contagious and he gives these big bear hugs that seem to make all of your broken pieces feel like they're perfectly in place again. Whenever I've had a hard day, he doesn't poke and prod and just lets me vent and listens. About 5 months ago we discovered the treatments aren't working for him, and in direct quote of the doctor he said months not years. Since then, he's gotten progressively worse and is now losing memory. He looked at the dog he got me for my 21st birthday and said, "Wow, that's a nice dog. Where did you get it?" My husband has been my absolute rock. He has been there for me, holding my hand and helping me through this. He's been so loving and attentive to both my kids and I. Don't get me wrong, I am a mother first always. I don't allow myself to wallow. My kids are still loved, cared for, played with, and I haven't let my load slack around the house. Once my dad got his updated prognosis, my husband encouraged me to quit my job. About a month later, we discovered we were pregnant again and I still hadn't let go of my job. I kept holding out for some reason. After finding out I was pregnant again, he assured me that it was still okay to quit my job, that it honestly would save us a small fortune on daycare costs anyways. So, I did. I quit my job. My best friend and I have been friends since diapers. Her family is like my family and vice versa. My mom and her mom grew up together. We've always been solid, and right after my dad's appointment when we found out he had so little time left, I drove straight to her house and she helped me while I cried for hours. If there are soulmates in friend form, she was mine. Thick as thieves is what my mom used to say. This morning, as I was up with my 3-year-old, he's currently sick, my husband's work alarm was going off. He has a few that he sets, so I turned the one off and gently woke him up. He said that he was up working late again, so he took the morning off, and he rolled over and went back to sleep. As I went to turn off the remainder of his alarms, I saw a text from my friend on his lock screen that said, "I'm assuming, since there hasn't been an angry pregnant lady on my doorstep, you haven't told her about this yet?" Time froze in that moment. I took his phone and walked away and just read their conversations. 4 months this man has been messing with my best friend. 4 months these people have been lying to my face. And I know what you're going to say. You should have seen the warning signs. But I've been clutching this phone in my hand for 2 hours and nothing. He's been so loving and attentive to me, and he always has been. So kind and gentle. There has been no late night work nights, except for once in a blue moon. There has been no lingering touches between them or even glances. They act as they have since the day I first introduced them. How sick is it that she calls him her brother, but she screws him? I know so many people get a moment of clarity in situations like this, but I have none. Aside from being sad about my dad, I haven't changed. I'm still a loving wife and mother. I still doted on him and my children. I talk to him about how he is doing and how his day was every freaking day. I haven't allowed the ground to swallow me whole. I know what I have to do now, but I just don't want to. I'm about to lose my family and my support system in one blow. I'll confront him tomorrow. Today I just need this last 24 hours of peace. As for her, I won't give her the satisfaction of a response. I don't care why she did it. She did it, and it's done. I was always the friend to clean up her messes. After today, I will cut her out of my life like she never even mattered at all. This has to be the hardest storm I'll ever weather. But damn it, I know I'll sail through it. If not for me, for my children. OP then posted a small update in the comments. I spent the morning gathering everything I could and making a checklist. I sat in my office for the better part of the morning telling my husband that I was preparing things for my dad. Not a total lie, I did have to get him sorted with hospice today. My boss would be happy to have me back. However, my lawyer said to pump the brakes on that idea for the time being. However, my old boss did tell me that whenever I'm ready, the door is open and to just give her a call. My husband does not have access to the inheritance from my father nor my mother. My lawyer ensured me in that. I didn't mention her in the post, but my mother-in-law is an absolute angel. I love and adore her so much, and she'd always been a shoulder to lean on. After he had gone to work for the afternoon, I asked my now ex-best friend's mom and my mother-in-law to meet me at my dad's house. My kids were outside playing with my now ex-best friend's older brother. I just handed them the screenshots, saving them from the unsavory pictures and the sex tape, though I did tell them they existed. To say they were furious was an understatement, and they are on my side completely. NG, my now ex-best friend's mom, is ready to cut contact with her daughter completely. She kept repeating how sorry she was. We hugged and cried together. My mother-in-law told me she couldn't believe she raised such a spineless, terrible human being. That no matter what happens, I will always have her, and as far as she's concerned, she doesn't have a son, only a daughter. After an in-person meeting with my lawyer, we went over finances, logistics, and everything you could think of. She has all the proof and she's out for blood. With this post now on TikTok, I don't want him to find out by an app because one look at the story and he'd know it was about him. With permission from my lawyer, my ex-BFF, her mom and dad, my soon-to-be ex, and his parents will be having a get-together tomorrow, by the time they're sitting down and showing them everything that I know. My dad, my kids, and my ex-best friend's brother, he's coming to help me juggle the kids and my dad, being big and pregnant doesn't help with mobility, will be at my dad's cabin a few hours away enjoying time and space. I know a lot of people were hoping for me to get revenge or do psychological warfare, but honestly, after my kids went to bed, I took a shower and just broke. I don't have the strength or energy to dish anything out. I just want out. Pretending like everything was okay today was too exhausting and I just don't want to do it. Once he finds out tomorrow, I'll update with an aftermath, as I'm sure it will be huge. As for now, thank you all so much for your kindness, warmth, and support. Truly. Your words have helped giving me the strength to keep my head above water, and I appreciate every single one of you for everything. Opie then posted a small update about a month later. Hey everyone, I'm still getting daily messages and comments for an update, so here's what could be possibly my final one. My dad passed away about a week after my last update. I knew it was coming, but it still feels like a gut punch. Thank you for everyone who kept him in your thoughts, truly. My marriage has officially ended. Once Tyler, my ex-husband, discovered just how serious I was about leaving him, he became compliant and was willing to give me everything I asked for in the divorce. So my lawyer opted for a dissolution versus divorce. The process is a lot quicker and went smoothly. As of right now, I have full custody while he works out his anger management and whatnot with therapy. I'm not sure I'll ever trust him again with the kids, but I'm also in therapy, as well are my kids. I'm not making any decisions at all right now when it comes to that. He gets supervised visits in a facility when there is an army of staff and security and someone is there at all times. That's once a week, and he does get video calls twice a week. The kids are adjusting pretty well. There are days when I think it affects them more, but they've suffered through some big losses, so it's to be expected. I did decide to give the baby my dad's first name though. It just felt right. But baby is doing very well and is thriving despite the amounts of stress I've had going on. And finally, what you've all been waiting to hear about. Jake, my ex-best friend's brother. Jake is now back in California. He tried extending his leave from the military, but they said no. It was truly wonderful having him there helping me. In the first few days after my dad's passing, he picked up so much slack for me that I will truly never be able to repay him for it. He is so patient and kind. That being said, nothing has happened between us, though he did hold me while I broke down after the kids went to bed a few times, but that's the extent of it. No kissing or anything like that. He does call me and text me multiple times a day. Right now, I just don't have any room in my life for romance. I have so much grief and the weight of being a single mom has been extremely heavy. He hasn't pushed me on it either. He let me know that he meant every word he said and that he's willing to just be my friend until I decide I want more. If I ever decide I want more with him. I wish I could be the girl that jumps in with both feet, but the betrayal from my ex is still fresh and I'm worried I would burn anything out before it started. So I asked for friends and time to process everything else in my life before I even consider processing a new relationship. He happily agreed. Oh, and Tyler and Jess, my ex-BFF, are not a couple. Most of you are right. He left her high and dry. Though I don't wish misery on anyone, I'd be lying if I didn't say I get the smallest amount of satisfaction that her life went up in smoke. She's been blacklisted from our family, and I know a lot of you said it's weird that her parents did that, but if you guys knew just how deep my bond went with that family, it wouldn't seem weird at all. Angie is like my surrogate mom. She gave me the safe sex talk, the period talk, she listened to me cry about the boys who broke my heart, she held my hand while I delivered my kids. When she talks about me, she calls me her daughter. She knew my mom for practically her whole life. She held my mom's hand when she delivered me, and if anything had happened to both of my parents, she is who I would have gone to live with. My parents had that in their will. With all of that being said, please just be kind to me in the comments. I put this off for a few days because of how hostile some of the people were, and the prospect of being called a liar doesn't sound too appealing at the moment. Opie then posted this final small little update to conclude the story. Just wanted to come back for a small update. The baby is here. He was born slightly premature, but no NICU stay was needed. He was 5 pounds, 9 ounces and 19 inches, and absolutely beautiful. Angie was in the room with me when I had him, while mother-in-law stayed with the other little ones. My older two are obsessed with their baby brother, and it makes my heart so happy. Mother-in-law and Angie are taking turns spending the night and days with me for the first 6 weeks until we can get acclimated. I told them they didn't need to, but they insisted. Honestly, I'm grateful for it. I can feel the waves of PPD trying to drag me under, and my mental health really hasn't been doing so good. Don't worry, my therapist knows and we're working through it. Knowing that this baby never gets to know and feel the love of my dad has been really hurting, and the fact that this is the only grandbaby he didn't get to meet. I miss him like crazy and still wish he was here. Jake was planning on staying in for another 2 years to retire, but they offered him early retirement. Not because anything going on with me or this whole situation, there was a situation at work. He didn't do anything wrong. So within the next 6 months he'll be moving back home. He's going to try house hunting and find a place before he comes home, but since he isn't allowed to take any leave during this time to view places since he has to work on his exit stuff, there's a chance he'll be temporarily living with me until he finds a place. No, he isn't moving in permanently. He might even just get an apartment for a year and then buy a house. There is also some drama with Tyler already because he's pissed I wouldn't let him into the room when I had the baby, but that's for another time. I love you all. Thank you all for being my ear when I needed to vent and get everything off my chest. Until next time, friends. What a tough situation to be put in. For someone you love to cheat on you with your best friend of all people is probably one of the most despicable things either could do in a relationship. I'm so happy that OP found a family that will support her through thick and thin, even the family from her own husband and her best friend. But I personally think she would have managed on her own. She seems like a very strong woman. Her husband seemed like her rock through her dad's situation, but the truth is she probably never even needed it. I'm glad OP was able to find some comfort in her ex's best friend's brother as well. And who knows, maybe in the future his love will be returned by her. And if not, then she'll still have an amazing friend. For now, I'm glad OP has another beautiful child to love and hold, and everything has a great ending, which is a lot to ask for in situations like this. Now, I'm very intrigued to hear what you guys think. Be sure to let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe the video if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you next time. See ya!